In the world of One Piece, those who rise to the top usually have one thing in common, and that is the drive to stand at the top. Be it Roger, Whitebeard or Garp, each of these great men had the will to rise to the top of the world, and as such it's only natural each possessed the colour of the Supreme King. However, there is one character who has risen to the top who I think is an exception to that rule. A pirate who proves you can make it far without much will of your own. However, in the end, I think such methods can only get you so far, and so for that reason, I believe Blackbeard's lack of Conqueror's haki will be his eventual undoing, and that is what we shall discuss today. So if you find yourself entertained at any point during the video, then consider liking, subscribing and ringing that bell. Anyway, on with the video. Now I know what I'm suggesting is not the most popular of ideas, and plenty of arguments can be thrown against this line of thinking. I mean, Doflamingo, Katakuri, Kaido and now Saturn and the Gorosei, all of Luffy's final opponents of late have been conquerors, so why wouldn't his greatest pirate foe follow suit? And well, that's what this video is going to try to explain to you. To start with, I want to lay out what Conqueror's haki even is. The colour of the Supreme King is a haki that only a select few individuals are born with. It is the ability to assert one's will over those weaker, it is the ability to stand above others. Only those with the will to stand at the top are destined to possess this ability. Now for a while we thought being a conqueror meant being one with the disposition of a king, but as we've seen more and more characters like Katakuri, Zoro and Sengoku, it has become clear that conquerors is not reserved for just kings, it is instead for those who possess the will equal to a king, aka a will that allows you to impose onto the world what you want with nothing but your own drive. Even those who seem pretty laid back like Mihawk possess this skill. Mihawk after all attained his title with his own two hands, he desired to be the strongest, so made it so with his own will. And yes, I know Mihawk isn't a confirmed conqueror, but Zoro is, so come on, it's pretty obvious Mihawk does. However, I do not think this description fits Blackbeard at all. Sure, he does have a vision for the future, but is he really using his own will to achieve it? I'd argue no. He waits, he schemes, he steals, he uses the powers of others to get what he wants. He will run away from a fight. He is in no way the image of a king nor one who possesses the will of one. He is ambitious, I will not deny that, but ambition and will are not one in the same. I mean, even a piece of shit like Kaido was angered and ashamed that he defeated Odin with such underhanded measures. What the story values is one who will brazenly fight with their emotions on their sleeve, who will do things themselves with their own two hands. However, just saying I personally don't think Blackbeard feels like a conqueror is not really going to convince anyone. I mean, most people did not think Marines could even have conquerors for quite a while, and then it turns out Sengoku was a conqueror, so I will leave that point here and instead turn to a much more interesting discussion on one of the series' most interesting themes, dreams versus will. These are two of the themes most prevalent and important in the series, and are two ideas personified by the series' two main power systems, Devil Fruit and Haki. Devil Fruits are the literal manifestation of someone's dream. Someone wished to fly and the Tori Tori no Mi was born. And Haki is the literal manifestation of one's will. One's willpower equates to their Haki, the strongest in will have the strongest Haki. But notice one interesting detail here. Haki negates Devil Fruits. Haki, in other words, trumps Devil Fruits. As Kaido says, Haki transcends all. And I believe this is very much on purpose because at the end of the day, a dream without will is nothing. Anyone can dream, but not everyone achieves said dream. To accomplish a dream, one needs will. I mean, the man who dreamt of flying likely wasn't the one to eat the Tori Tori no Mi. No, it was somebody else. Sure, just dreaming of flight did bring the dream into reality, but not for the dreamer, because all they did was dream. A dream is nothing without will. Will trumps dreams because a dream is just in your head, but your will can be used to affect the world itself. This is why I believe Haki trumps Devil Fruits, because Haki is what one uses to actively achieve their own dream, not to live out the dream of somebody else. So to bring this back to Blackbeard, this is what I think his and Luffy's fight will explore. Dreams alone versus the willpower to achieve them. I mean, think about it, Blackbeard in this fight will likely have 3 Devil Fruits, the strongest Paramecia, the strongest Logia, and likely a very strong Zoan, possibly Loki's legendary fruit. And what's more, his Devil Fruits are literally stolen. He killed their users to take them. He is stealing the dreams of others to use for himself. It's the idea I was talking about in its most literal sense. Luffy on the other hand will have his advanced forms of Haki, Observation, Armament and Conquerors alongside his Devil Fruit. Or wait, maybe not. because the Yami Yam enemy can negate devil fruits, and as such we could get a fight where Luffy can only use his haki, his Conqueror's haki, aka his will to be Pirate King, versus Blackbeard's overpowered stolen devil fruits, which would appease the fear many have had since the introduction of Gear 5th that Luffy will no longer be able to have a serious fight. But in this fight, that fear will not come to light. Heck, Luffy may even show the superiority of will over dreams by using haki to negate Blackbeard's own devil fruits, showing that without his stolen devil fruits he is nothing, whereas even without his devil fruit Luffy is still strong enough to become the king. Basically, if you take their fruits away, one of them is still strong enough to claim the One Piece and the other is not. Blackbeard, who relies on these stolen powers, will not be able to challenge Luffy, that without will of his own, he will lose. I strongly believe that Luffy vs Blackbeard will be a fight over who has the right to claim the One Piece, over which of the two is the one Roger was truly waiting for. Blackbeard will fight with his stolen devil fruit, the personification of his scheming ways, his backstabbing rise to the top, and Luffy will use his haki, his literal will, to become Pirate King. And I think we know which one of these the story has portrayed as the correct way to rise to the top. By not having conquerors, Blackbeard would only serve to further enrich this thematic debate, and when Luffy comes out on top, he will prove that no amount of scheming or planning can overcome the simple desire to fight your way to the top and become the Pirate King. I mean, I could go on for ages about the many ways Luffy and Blackbeard differ, such as how Luffy cherishes his ship, and Blackbeard literally uses a log raft, or how Luffy made a bond with each of his crew members one by one, whereas Blackbeard made his potential crewmates fight to the death, taking with him those that survived all at once. But that is beyond the scope of this discussion. The point is that Blackbeard is a coward, a schemer. He will wait decades for one specific fruit to fall into his lap. He will run away from a fight if he is not 100% sure he can win. He in no way embodies the kind of man Roger was, and as such he is not fit to be the next Pirate King. One like him is not deserving of the colour of the Supreme King. He is instead one making up for his lack of will through tricks and schemes. He shows the wrong path one can take. And that's one of the reasons he is so compelling as an antagonist, because he challenges everything the story says is correct when it comes to becoming Pirate King. He is someone who wants the same thing as Luffy but goes about it in a completely opposite direction. The ends justify the means to teach, but for Luffy the means is just as if not more important. And so their fight will be a test of these two differing means to see who will attain the ends. Hence why I believe his and Luffy's fight will begin with a clash that splits the sky. Yet it won't be due to two conquerors clashing. Instead, it will be the true haki of Luffy meeting with the stolen Guruguru no Mi of Blackbeard. He will use the strongest of stolen devil fruits to match the raw willpower of Luffy. To try and make up for the will he lacks, he will use the power he stole from another. The most fitting of moves for a sleazeball like Blackbeard. To overcome the strongest of devil fruits, the strongest dreams others have dreamt up, with nothing but his own will. That will be the final test for Luffy to see if he is worthy of being the one to achieve the most coveted dream of Pirate King. Blackbeard will be the final stepping stone before he takes the title, and will be proof that what makes Luffy worthy is not being the next Joy Boy or having a broken fruit, it is because he, Monkey D. Luffy, wants to be the Pirate King more than anybody else.
And if you want to support this channel even further, then perhaps pledge to my Patreon, or consider becoming a channel member, so you can get your name at the end of the video, like Rinjack9696, Mr. Sputum, Marimo, Jack Hammer, Zolby and Eric Hinton.